I can't help. Every time it plays, it takes me back to that moment you walking across the stage during your graduation.
A magical moment.
Magical moment. What? Well, listen, I mean, it's no secret that the celebration, is it UKZN?
Yes, it was UKZN.
UKZN has a way of celebrating graduations that I think they should be just the norm. It should be just nationalized.
It should be.
Was that planned?
It wasn't planned at all. Firstly, greetings to my Kaya FM family.
Yes.
Thank you for having me today. And no, it wasn't planned at all. It was all a surprise to me. Even the way they were treating me, Sister Fig, I was like, Aibo. These people bangazela ngempela, so I was shocked. But then I was like, okay, let me see where this goes.
Yeah.
And then sebezodlala Soft Life in the process. I'm like, Aibo. Like for a second, I was so confused. I was like, let me just carry on and behave like everybody else.
Yes.
But then the Nomfundo Moh in me just unleashed, and I'm like, no, let me go back to my pupils.
Yes. So, but you wanted to plan something on the day.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, you have your crew. I mean, come on, that was campus life. These are your people.
Kunjalo nje, especially thina ka social work, cohort yethu, we used to support each other ngalendlela. So I knew what if I were to say qonqonqo, they were all gonna respond back. So that was in my plans. Like I was practicing it at home. It's either I would say qonqonqo or phakade lami.
Yes.
And the moment I walked on stage, they started singing phakade lami vele. So I was like, okay. And then ngisazihambela stage. Boom, they are playing Soft Life. I'm like, okay. Who actually planned this now?
I think the sound guy / DJ on the day, he was on point.
Shout out to him and the whole UKZN team and my team. Shem.
Because there's one thing about playing a song. It's another to be brave enough as a DJ to drop the fader and let the people sing. That can either build or break.
True.
And when the whole hall, graduates, started singing along, come on.
It was magical, Shem.
I could feel your graduation gown getting goosebumps. Forget about you.
Oh, Lapo Shem, I was so tiny in that gown.
They should make sizes for you.
You don't know how many times I changed it. New medium. I think umuntu owayengenzela did not see me because we were communicating through the phone.
Okay.
So I'm like, I'm very tiny. Ngicela gown encane. Futhi na akazi ukuthi lo tiny wami utiny omngakanani.
Sure.
And then Pilo went to collect my gown saying afike ekhaya ngayilinganisa. Aibo, this thing could fit my mother. I'm like, no ways.
Oh my word. And talking about your stature, the voice obviously is bigger than your body. When you go and perform, when do they realize this is Nomfundo?
Just after I step out of stage. So that's the beauty of being the tiny Nomfundo Moh.
Yeah.
I walk into the stage freely.
Yes. That's right.
And the moment I start doing my thing, it's going to be a struggle to get out of stage because everyone will be like, hi, Bo, phakade lami, hi, Bo, Soft Life, hi, Bo. That's when trouble begins after performing.
Oh, my word. And then you did social work, right? Why? Why that?
Because I strongly believe ngumuntu wabantu. I live for people. Because even with the music I make music for people. I just deliver to people. I'm more concerned about the well-being yabantu and ukuba part of making the society a better place.
Yeah.
That's why.
And all throughout, obviously, music, does that now come as a chance? Does it come? As you're studying, I mean, your focus is to do well and obviously get a job or, so that you can impart your skills, into the society. Where does then music fit in? Where did it hit you?
Okay, in the process of studying, I think I was doing my second year, and then le passion yam your music because I've always loved music, but being as a hobby.
Okay.
So it actually grew because abantu started complimenting me. Mhlawumbe bangizwa at rest singing, masinezinto ezincane rest at sing, do covers and freestyles, and they're like, Ncgobo, you're actually very gifted. Why don't you record a song or something like that?
Yeah.
So I started associating myself with a lot of creatives from campus, and that's how I started writing songs like Abo Phakada, Abo Lilizela. That was my debut single.
Yes.
So from then I was like, let me not look back because abantu bangikhombisa uthando. So let me see where this can take me.
Sure.
So khona lapho it was still like a hobby because I'm just a social work student who wants to obtain her degree. That's what I came there for.
That's right.
But then along the way I just caught feelings for music, so ngahamba now. Yes, exactly, because it actually stole my heart. That's what I came for.
That's right.
Yes, exactly. So I was like, okay, I think it's possible for me to actually accommodate music in my social work life. How do I do that? Because ngumuntu abantu, why not give people the music they want to hear? We've been through a lot. There was COVID and all that. So let me be that voice that will heal people during these difficult times. So that's how I actually chose to fuse social work yami and music, and it's working perfectly fine for me.
Is Soft Life social commentary?
Yes. The Soft Life is one of those songs I wrote as a social worker in a social work perspective, because I was thinking,
so.
There's a lot going on in our society. There's a lot esikuzamayo nathi as abantu for a better life. Abantu bayavuka every day in the morning uyozama ukuthi okay ngiyohustlisha there, because at the end of the day umndeni wami kumele udle. At the end of the day I have needs that kumele ngifeze idingo zami. So ayikho enye indlela ukuyongqongqoza and hope for a better life. So it's me doing that manifestation for everyone out there ohustlayo ukuthi no kusengalunga asingqongqozeni. You never know, mawuyeka awazi ukuthi kusasa ngabe kwenzakalani. So don't.
Do you
stop
think the ngqongqo part they hear, or they just want the soft life?
Hi, they hear it. I think it was actually there for a reason. When I created the song, I did not recognize that Koko had a different effect, but it's actually huge. Because even if I perform the song, the moment we say Koko, you can see everyone lifting their hands up.
Wow. Yeah.
It means the message by told ukuthi no, I say ukuthi nje sivulele sifuni Soft Life, but siyangqongqoza consistently because we want you to hear the sound ukuthi excess esifikile.
Excess. Nomfundo Moh is my guest, and this is my top 10 at 10, and of course we're celebrating your Happy Youth Month, Happy Youth Day.
Thank you.
How old were you yesterday, 1976?
1976, even my mom was not born.
Never.
True. 1976, that's the year my father was born.
There you go. So you were, but I was in the pipeline. That's the line that I got from the show yesterday. The other guy was like, I was still in liquid form. So, do they share stories? I know fathers and daughters have a lot.
Mina I have a strong bonding with umkhulu.
Okay.
Yeah, because ngikhule kakhulu with my maternal side of the family.
Sure.
But yes, if nginaye ubaba unazo nje ama stories akhe.
Yeah.
Abuya benje nehaba, sometimes I'm like, I'm mkhulu. Because sometimes when I'm pulling his leg, I'm like, I'm mkhulu.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you see what you old now.
Yes,
and like,
yes.
Go put work on me. They don't want to get old.
What stories have you heard? Of course, apart from what you read, what we see, because sometimes the narrative that we get is told through a particular lens.
True.
And those who are there to tell the story, they'll tell you what they see. But there are other stories that come about. Yesterday, a story came out. This lady says she was 4 years old. All she remembers is looking outside the window and seeing her brother. You know, obviously, her brother was, I think, 3 years older than her. And right there, she realized something is strange. Her grandmother then called the elder brother to come in. And hey, when's ngaphandle? Power, Gogo, power. What is power? You know? And this was on the day, 76. Obviously, he then grew to be part of, the activism. And unfortunately, later on, he passed on. But you see, That's a story that was never told from a different lens altogether. So I don't know what you heard.
Oh, I've heard a lot of stories. Umana with her siblings, bakhule bacishe balingana bashiyana kakhulu.
Okay.
So malume bami bathe kuba badala then uma, so they have experience nyana ukuthi kwakwenzakalani back then. So I hear stories ukuthi kwakuba nabantu in the community abamele certain political parties.
Sure.
And bona as a youth they were forced to be part of a certain political party, whether you like it or not. Like it's mandatory that you have to be part of that. Every time after school you had to attend a meeting and all that. So uma wayesho ukuthi ke sometimes bona akuthiwa hayi ngoba sayingane abahlale behind.
Sure.
And then kwesinye isikhathi sithubeni kuthiwa okay khona abantu abafikile bazo attack, so now they had to run kwakunama camps somewhere eNdwedwe Central lekude, so they had to climb ama mountains bahambe bagijime with ogogo and everyone in the family move ukuthi babe in a safe place for that time. So ukuphila kwabo was actually like kungenzeka noma yini noma inini.
It was
anytime war. Yes, exactly. So nje anytime bona babehlezi balindele ukuthi basendleleni bayahamba, and I'm like, yo, I don't think I'd survive because mina angizwani nokuhamba ma long distance.
Oh, is it? Okay. You are more worried about long distance, girl.
Exactly. I'm like, oh no, how did you cope, girl? How did you cope?
Before we play the next song, I want to give you something to think about, because the Youth 76 had something that unified them. It started with the Africans as a medium of instruction, but obviously there were other social and political ills that they needed to fight, and they did. So I wonder if there's an equivalent, because you are the flag bearer of the youth today, educated, creative. So you're basically a multi-potentialite, which is what most of the youth are today, from millennials to your generation, right? So I wonder, what is that unifying cause? Feast Must Fall showed us one. What else? Is there what else, or is that indicative of something? So before we go there, just think about it. We'll talk about it. But Zama Jobe?
Daoyami. Daoyami. Daoyami.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one of my favorite songs, by the way.
Yakubambu
Mina ngithanda ezinye ingoma njengengoma ezozamajobe, ingoma ebengikhula uma ezilalela kakhulu. So bengibe ngibe copycat ukuthi okay, I think I like this song. Ngithathe it's okay. It's also my favorite song.
That's right. Yes.
Same as amacula amanye abo Brandy. So I'd hear Umawa and I'm like, that's my favorite song.
That's right.
Taking it now, I'm claiming it. So this was one of those songs. Angenza ukuthi ngicabanga ukuthi okay, uZamajobe is actually a very, very talented creative. To think of ingoma ekwenza ukuthi uphume emhlabeni where everyone is living, ucabange in a world of creatives, cause my ekhuluma to take me into a place uyabona ukuthi ukhuluma ngendawo ehlukile. She's actually not here.
She's not
and
here.
I like that.
Yeah, no, basically she is suspended somewhere in the stratosphere.
I like that.
And not even looking down on earth, ne?
Not
looking
at all.
Looking up.
Ufuna ukuhlala with the God.
Have you met her?
No.
Why?
I so wish I could meet her though. Shows akaqondani, but khona kuzoqondana. Kuzoqondana, definitely.
Would you be able to speak mahlangana naye?
Yes. Because ngakwazi ukukhuluma when I first met Amanda Black, definitely.
Oh, is it?
Yes, because she's one of my queens that I've always looked up to. So nje ukumbona, I was like, hey, ngangijabula ngale ndlela, but then work had to be done, so I had to come back and compose myself. So definitely, it would be amazing to meet Uzam.
Coming back to my question. At least I'm that lecturer who gives you time to think.
Yes. Yeah. A good one, eh?
Yeah. I don't throw you, you know. I don't want to catch you out.
Hey.
You say after graduating you had tears in your eyes. Why?
I had mixed emotions, ambiguity inside me. Reason being, half of me was happy because of everything that was happening. Konke nje babengihlelele kona, the double platinum, the Soft Life playing and my grade, but most of all ngaba nale feeling yokuba emotional uma kudlala iSoft Life, and I'm like, now I'm starting to realize how relevant the song is at the point, looking at my colleagues bebahle kanjeyana with their parents. But then I asked myself, ukuthi, what does the future hold for us? After graduation, what's next? So that hit me hard ukuthi madoda siyanqonqoza ngempela, because we want the doors to open. Asazi ukuthi ikusasa lisiphatheleni, but we're hoping for the best.
Could that be the unifying cause? Could that be the one thing that can make the youth to stand up again?
Definitely yes. Because if one person can realize ukuthi no, angikho happy lapho ngikhona, we need to do something to make our lives better.
Yes.
And then the other person will start being conscious na ukuthi exeyas, I've been here for too long and bengilokhu ngithi ngiyathula ngiyaziba le feeling. But fethu nina nifila kanjani, and everybody else starts opening up, and that's when people become one and they fight against one thing ukuthi no, we are not happy here. So it's like the same thing ebiyenzeka with the fees must fall ukuthi babonile abafundi ukuthi sesikhathele manje, we've been here for so long, ikweletu ziyasibulala, ekhaya abadlile, and we are not even obtaining this degree. So what do we do? And kuyabonala ukuthi it's not just one person or one student okhala ngaleyo nto, so bayahlangana ndawonye to fight against one thing ukuthi no, the fees must fall, because nathi siyafuna ukuthi sithole le degree sikwazi ukuthi senze something ezoletha isinkwe ekhaya.
That's right. And now you have the degree, but the environment says there are no jobs. We have the highest rate of unemployment, especially in the youth segment, in the whole world. And it seems not to be averting, seems to be getting worse. Is there a solution? Is the solution politics?
Njengamanje, it's really tricky, I have to say. I think wonke umuntu one ability yokugrant omunye umuntu opportunity responsible for this. I can't say it's just politics alone. If you have the ability to grant an opportunity to someone and you're not doing that, you are responsible for opening the doors, because you don't know ukuthi leyo nto ungayithatha ukuthi incane kanjani. But for example, ukuthi khona umuntu nje ozama ukucula ingoma yami ngendlela ethe ukuhluka, and then I tend to do something ukumnika that exposure nyana. You don't know ukuthi leyo opportunity ngimnike yona ingenza into engakanani empilweni yakhe. Mhlambe khona omunye umuntu ozombuka just because ngimphathe in one event. So if you can grant an opportunity and you don't do that, to me you are responsible for leya mpilo leyana ezocula in depression, because iminyanga ayivuleki, akakwazi ukuletha isinkwe ekhaya.
Like Bonang Mohali, lift as you rise.
On the streets, on the air.
All right, it is Nomfundo Moh on my top 10 at 10. We're talking about the celebrating her, celebrating youth, and looking forward to the future. I say, Nomfundo, let's give you guys the reign. Run this country, parliament to legislatures for a year. What do you say?
I agree, because mina ngihlezi ngisho ngithi we are the future.
Yeah.
Not just in ama 2K but nje youth yonke jikelele.
That's right.
We are the future. So angeke sikwazi ukuthi sikwazi ukhandisha izinto kusasa if namhlanje singazange sizame noma sipractice. If you are not given a chance to do something today, how do you expect umhlaba to be a better place kusasa?
That's right. Which portfolio would you take?
Still thinking.
Because I don't want to box you and say social services, you know?
But that's where I fit in more.
Yeah.
That's more of me. That's where I get to be me and do intercently zoniam engibizelwe yona. Mina, I strongly believe ubizo lami was to be there for people or to heal people.
Then health.
Which is what I'm doing.
Health. So health.
Mama is a nurse. Mamkhulu wami is a nurse.
Okay.
So I'm like, no, let me do. Ngathi nokuthi ke mina nginozwelo kakhulu in terms of singabona umuntu mhlawumbe olimele ogula kakhulu. That's not for me. Kunabantu bakhona lapho. Mina ngumuntu othanda ukulapha ngokukhuluma noma ukulapha umphefumulo. Let's do with the soul. That's me. That's where I fit in.
And so that's where social services you'll be best fitted there.
Spot on.
And I see that even on your choice of songs is nothing but queens, right?
True.
Simi, the Tugela Fairy.
I love her. I love
Isn't
her.
she just simply, her humility kills me. She's just, oh man.
She's amazing. A calm, collected queen.
Yeah. Is it because she's KZN too?
No, Konde. It means Ncgobo itholale KZN. It's something that nami ngengikwazi ukuthi ngilisane nayo. But nje ubiyena, I can just say ubiyena sishiyo ukuthi wase KZN, but shout out that also adds to me loving her because umkhaya phela ma wase KZN. But nje ubiyena, the way she writes amaculo akhe, I even love her personality yakhe.
Sure. All right. And here it is. We Were Here by Simi. The Summers Girl.
Yebo.
Yazi le nyango ehamba ngiyayifuna.
Angazi mina ngizoyithini ndaba.
Hey. How many nominations?
It's 3.
Wow, girl.
I'm super proud myself.
Oh yeah. But in ekhaya God.
Everyone is happy shame. Ungangokuba nje kwaqale kaphuma 2. Ngaqale ngathola 2 because ama nominations ngaqale kaphuma ama category 3 and then the rest aphuma later.
Yes.
So kulokho kokuqala I got 2 record of the year and music video of the year.
Oh yeah.
Ngiqhamuka ngimam like, ma uyazi ukuthi si nominated in 2 categories. Uthi unamanga. Uthi ngimkhombisa isithombe. I'm like, who's Nomfundo Moh? Do you know of any other Nomfundo Moh? Uye lo segijima esesiyotshela umkhulu ukuthi okay mkhulu kunento kanje
umkhulu muphi lo wa 76 or umkhulu
hayi umkhulu wa 76 is time it's the daddy ngisho umkhulu
okay
umkhulu udinga ukuthi yena mamchazela into nomathi happy but akumchazele in details because phela mdala yena lezinto lezi udinga ukuthi umazi siyahle ukuthi okay kunama awards kanjena ke mkhulu lapho khona uthola imkomelo if umusic wakho ulalelwa kakhulu noma uthandwa kwi-category thizeni hayi naye ke wajabula ke nkosami uthi awumzukulu wakhe
that's beautiful you're taking all 3 right? Yes wow yes akuphese iphumela phansi ma
no it's me sometimes I'm like yes nje umoya ubuye uphele.
I would fail in my duties today. There's a man called Themba Shabalala. He works for Jozi FM. He's also a DJ, a resident DJ at Sofeng, where you were last night.
Okay.
And first time hearing Phakada lami being played at a venue was him.
Wow.
And since then, I have ordained that song to be Themba Shabalala's song.
Thank you, Themba.
Yeah, so I know Mshengo right now you're smiling. So ngoma yam.
I appreciate you big time.
That's right. And I appreciate people like that because it shows how good music will make any DJ brave. They don't mind being the first to play it because they know it's a good song. It's a good song. Now, social work degree in the bag. Music is happening. You clearly have read and you've seen stories about musicians such as yourself who'll come through and take over. And soon they are a shadow of their former selves because of so many reasons. Doesn't that scare you?
Well, sometimes it does, but into engcine ngizitshela yona ukuthi I am me. Ijeni yomunye umuntu will not define ukuthi yami ijeni izoba njani. We can achieve izinto ezicishe zifane but then ijeni yami ibekelwe mina kokumina ukuthi mina ngihamba kanjani. So ngithi yonke into ilele kumina because music doesn't have any formula. It's up to me ukuthi how do I behave or how do I make use of le shine ngithola manje. I-shine indlela engisebenzisa ngayo manje iyona ezo determine ukuthi kusasa ngizobe ngikuphi.
Exactly. And what about your team? How the people you work with? Do they understand that? Do they understand that they don't own you?
Ngabe ngidlala ngabo, they are heavenly sent.
Yeah.
I consider myself one of the lucky musicians ever, because sometimes ukuthola ukuthi usebenza nabantu but aninayo igoal efanayo.
Yeah.
But so far I can safely say mina neteam yami we have the common goal, which is why we are all working hard and tirelessly.
Yeah.
Abantu abalali bazinikele bonke towards leli talent leli, because they all see the vision ukuthi kukude lapho sifisa ukuya khona.
Yeah. Have you lost you to the social work? And it's an unfair question to ask. I must tell you that much, by the way, because you're talking to a chemical engineer here who's not even applied his trade beyond his 1 year of practicals. So, and here I am asking you, because easily I could be asked that, does the chemical engineering space lost you for good? But hey.
Well, isn't it kanje? It happens. Ngiyajabula ukuthi now you're a perfect example.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
you just make life easy for me also.
Yeah.
Okwamanje, I can just say, since music ngibona susangivuma, it's where I'm gonna put all my focus on, because okwamanje ngitholile degree which bekuyisikweletu kumina ukuthi angikwazi ukuthi ngifunde ngishiye kanjalo. I need to finish what I started, and I'm glad I did. Yona social work ngizoyisebenzisa along the way on my journey as a public figure, because kuningi okuma plans ami. One of my plans ukuthi at some point ngibe ne foundation yami,
yes,
where ngizo empowerisha youth, ngizokwenza izinto eziningi ezahlukene and help even ingane ezifisa uku-apply kuma varsities, especially mina engiqhamuka in a disadvantaged area like Indwedwe. I've noticed ukuthi abantu bayaqeda ukufunda baphase kahle but bangenzi lutho, and some of them it's because abanayo information eyanele. So mina ke ngiyafisa ukuthi ngibe there for them, ngibasize ngalokho engakwazi ukubasiza ngawo ukuthi bayele baqhubeke spread ama wings up.
Is this a full album?
Which one? Amagama. Amagama is a full album. I released Amagama on the 28th of January. Ayatholakala everywhere. I named my album Amagama because it's me saying ngiswele amagama okubonga to everyone who has contributed towards my journey as Nomfundo Moh. People who actually believed in me before they even saw or knew who I was. So that means a lot to me, which is why I offered that album ngisebenzise amagama asuka ngaphakathi kimi to show my creativity nokuthi i-aim yami ukuthi ngikhulume nani.
Most of the time the people who you work with will tell you we'll work with this person and that person and that person, but who did you insist on?
Ngasho ukuthi abantu abaningi sengisebenze nabo bengibacela ku team yami ukuthi ngisacela ningitholele uSpanban.
Yeah, but who's this Spanban?
Abaningi kakhulu.
Give me a few names.
Well, Ami and Shasha Baba ama surprise collabo. It has been people I've always wished to work with. But kwiphakade lami ngangacabanga ukuthi ngase kube khona umuntu ongangena, but the team yami was like, okay, kubantu ahleze ekhuluma ngabo ukababale laba bantu, so why not go siyobathola and then sibafake engomeni. And then it was a birthday surprise for me.
Never. So you were not in the studio with them? No. Here's the story. Yes. So you wrote Phakada.
I wrote Phakada. I wrote the hook. I wrote my verse. Ngumuntu ozobuyela studio to do the second verse. And then
where are the other verses?
So
it's still a work in progress.
It was still a work in progress. Mina nje ngishiya studio ngithi ngisazobuyela because I had other ideas for other songs. I was very creative at that point. So it's like whatever comes to mind, ngiya record them. And then Iphakade was one of those unfinished businesses. And then the team was like, kulega girl,
relax.
We will work on it. And then July last year, Setiwa awulalele la ntombi and let us know what you think. I'm like, tell me niyadlala because phela ngiyawenza lama phimbo. So what's going on here? And they're like, okay, we wanted to surprise you, but sifuna ukuzwa uvo lakho. I'm like, nisafuna ukuzwa uvo lami la, because I can never say no to this. So that's how blessed I felt to go.
So you are not in the same studio with them? No. Because you see, we visualize it like that. We had the three queens, one room, singing one song.
It was a surprise collabo.
Your birthday is?
18th of July.
I thought it was March Mandela. You know, for some reason.
It's no Mandela Day.
When she said July, I was like, it must be the 18th.
Siyavuma makhosi.
Wow. So it's coming up next. You'll be turning 16 again.
Well, I look 16, so yes.
The things you make people do, Nomfundo. Already there's a guy on my timeline and says, Nomfundo better be ready because the dang shot. This is going to be my song.
I love that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We can only wish you nothing but the best, Nomfundo, and thank you so much for sharing your talent with us. And I pray all the time that when I speak to such a talent such as yours, we can keep on talking until you turn gray, or at least until I'm still here, because what you're doing is your passion. It's in you. It's not a
Just,
you know. And I wish you longevity.
Thank you so much.
And I also wish you people around you who will care for what you do. Less about their pockets and their, short interests, but more about you in being the household name, the storyteller, the healer that you are. And that, I think that's where the problem sits with us, musically, so to speak. We fail to manage our talents. And like I said, I wish that for you in so many ways, because if there's one thing that gives me anxiety, it's exactly that when it comes to young talent. So may God just protect you and guide you with everyone that you work with.
Amen. I receive. Kuzobanjalo.
Bakubenjalo. God bless you.
You too. Thank you.
When I'm mina ngivala ngengoma yami.
Okay.
Uyayazi.
Ngiyazi kahle.
Uyayazi kahle.
I'll let you do just that.
Thank you.